Hey there, everybody. Here's Coco Vanderwolf, our version of the star baby from the Big Brother house.
She sure was this morning. She decided to get up at 6.
Yeah, that's like every other morning. She's just an internal clock. But this is our morning edition of Big Brother 22 All Stars Live Feed Spoilers. We have controversy. We have the return of the Wall Yeller, everyone's favorite, aka sometimes most controversial part of a given season of the show.
Yep.
We'll talk about the veto ceremony, which is probably happening a little bit later in the day, and also the state of the game for Bailey and Davon, which I'm worried. Let's just put it that way. I'm worried.
I'm a little worried.
Well, before we get into anything here, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know Coco Vanderwolf will be very appreciative. I don't know what she's doing. She's like borderline crazy at the moment.
Yeah, she is. It's morning craziness.
But also, if you guys do want to support us more, check the links in the description. That's where it is, to the store, and also our Patreon, where we have live chats last Sunday of every month. Some other benefits there that are also worth checking out.
Okay, so let's talk about the Yeller. That's the thing I think everybody really wants to hear about, because we've had over the years stuff like people yelling, we've had planes, we've had people stuffing messages in tennis balls and throwing them over the side. We've had all kinds of stuff going on to try to have outside influence in the game. Production hates it. I think the house guests don't really like it either, because it usually ends up with them losing the backyard, and then they're all sort of sent to their rooms to have a timeout. They don't get the backyard anymore.
It's one of these sort of things. It's really great, like, the night that it's happening, because all of Big Brother Twitter, we all, like, assemble like the Avengers, and we're just like, yeah, what's going on? Who said what? What is it gonna do to change the game? And then, like, 12 hours later, calmer heads all prevail, and it's like, oh yeah, actually this really didn't do that much, and we got very excited about not a lot. I think last year it was a little bit, I guess, more significant with the Christy and Tommy know each other stuff going down. This time around, it feels more like it was just a very pro-Janelle message, which, shocker, people in the house learned that Janelle is popular outside the house.
Yeah, the thing about it is, if you're gonna go there and you're gonna say something like, yeah, Christy and Tommy know each other, that's really important information for the house to know. I remember seeing, plain banners where people were giving really important information. Pro Janelle doesn't really help Janelle. I mean, I think everyone in the house knows that she's popular, and that if she stays, she's probably going to get some sort of special power, and that America really loves her. I don't think that's lost on anybody, but if she, she's on the block, so she's already got a target on her. If it's on top of it being like, hey, everybody didn't know how popular Janelle is, and it's going to be like, okay, let's just get her out of here. Like, this can't be a thing.
No, and that's just sort of the situation here. And I supposedly there may have been some anti-Nicole stuff in there as well. But, here's what you need if you're going to be a backyard yeller. I don't know why I'm going to give people advice to do this, because I don't think it ever really works. But you got to be like, there is an alliance. It is called this. These are the people who are in the alliance. You gotta come with ultimate specifics.
The problem this season is that this alliance is like the whole house, and it just keeps morphing into different things.
Here's the other thing, because a lot of what people are saying on these yells are typically like factual, usually they're not lying, can you just come up with a really fantastic lie and like shout that into the backyard, like, Cody, Nicole is trying to blindside you next week.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Or like, Tyler, he's trying to eliminate his entire alliance and go to the end with Kevin. Like, things that are, and I don't want anything bad to happen in the game to Tyler. It's just, you gotta think sort of outside the box with some of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of the time people in the house, of course, they're paranoid, they don't know what's going on, and a lot of times they think that whoever's yelling stuff, they just don't trust it to be true, when most times it is true, that people are passionate enough or pissed off enough to come all the way down to the house to do something like this. It's likely not for a lie.
The other problem with doing this, though, is that it's not like you can get like an inch away from the backyard when you do this. This is why a lot of people have like megaphones and stuff.
Yeah, the house is on the CBS Live.
So a lot of times you don't even hear the message properly. Like, it sounds like maybe Janelle and Cody and maybe Enzo and Kevin heard like some of it, but because production is such in a finger wagging mode, it's like, you talk about this and we send the hammer to you. It's hard to get like a lot of specifics from these people while the feeds are actually on as to everything they heard individually.
Yeah, so the most that we've kind of all figured out is that, yeah, it's pro Janelle, it's possibly anti-Nicole, but none of this is really too much of a surprise, I don't think, for anybody there.
No, I think the biggest takeaway is people are probably just annoyed that they lost the backyard for like an hour or so, and we lost feeds for an hour or so, when they barely really have the backyard in the first place. They've got it for like 2.5, 3 days this season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll move on from the backyard, but just remember, future backyard people, name the alliances.
Make it count.
Yeah, this is your one shot. It's just like you're Eminem in 8 Mile. You gotta find a way to try to make this go for you. But okay, so we'll get into the state of things for Bailey and Davon, where I feel like they're going to put a lot of stock into something, and it's going to end up making me very sad.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this sort of Slick Six, which I've been calling the BS Alliance, because it really is. I mean, they are putting a little more stock in it than they should be, because the rest of the Alliance doesn't feel like they're really taking it very seriously. And I kind of thought that Bailey and Davon weren't going to take it that seriously either, but the past couple days has put them in a position where I think they need that alliance to be serious, because they are going to lose Janelle or Kaser, who is someone that would be working with them and likes them a lot, and then they're going to be kind of left in the situation where it's like the two of them and Kaser and maybe Kevin. Like, it's just tough.
And it's even more difficult when you think about Kevin, like his just
your
like
boy Kevin.
Okay, I know Kevin, I can't unpredict you. You've already been predicted, but your inability to just put aside stuff with Janelle and Kaser has really just like wrecked that side of the house, because it's like there's not even a way that there could be a real 4-person group, because Kaser at this point, even if he stays, he's not going to trust Kevin anymore, because he knows that Kevin and Nicole Anthony pretty much trashed his entire reputation in the house alongside Janelle's. That's just a car crash.
Yeah, it is a car crash, and that's part of the reason why we've seen Kaser really, really trying to work that angle with Tyler. They had a really good conversation a couple days ago. They had another conversation. So, I think Tyler's keeping his option open to Kaser, but is not really committing to anything.
Yeah.
But in this case, it feels like I think Tyler would want to work with them if the circumstances fall in that favor. It's not someone he doesn't want to work with, but if his alliance is still going strong, he doesn't have any reason to work with him. So something does have to shake up a little bit for Tyler to be like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to make this move.
Tyler's just doing the Tyler thing, which is giving himself a lot of options so that he's covered in almost any scenario, and he's not committing to a final 2. He's trying to rectify, at least with Kaser, some of his sins from Big Brother 20, and not committing to something that is too much. But Bailey and Davon, they got to find a way to commit to something else, because it was just sort of sad in a way to hear the two of them talk about how they may try to move forward with this alliance, while at the same time you've got Danny and Cody in another room, who they're supposedly in this alliance with, talking all this paranoid stuff about Davon to Nicole and how they don't really trust her all that much.
They're in a really bad spot, and some of it is, brought on by really little situations that shouldn't have turned into what they did, like Davon wanting the punishment, which is, of course, attached to a safety. So I get why people were getting really like, why does she want this safety so bad? Why is this happening? Is she not with us? Like, she should feel safe with us. So I get where that alliance is coming from, but I also get where Davon is coming from, which is like, I'm here, I'm bored, I want to have some fun, give me the punishment, I'm here for it, throw it on me, I'll take the lumps kind of thing. That little situation has turned into like something where now people are like, oh, I don't know if I can trust Davon. Then there's the whole thing with Bailey and Nicole that happened with the joke gone awry, and that didn't need to turn into the thing that it has turned into. Bailey didn't have any bad intention behind that. Nicole didn't know that Bailey didn't have a bad intention behind that. So at this point, it is a miscommunication where someone's having a joke, someone doesn't know how to take it. There's nothing there that should be turned into what it is turned into. This could have been squashed really fast.
The problem, unfortunately, I think for Bailey and Davon is they're dealing with people like Danny and like Nicole who are really good at taking these little things and just causing them to sort of spiral. Like we saw this on the episode last night where, you know, Danny was able to use just the tiniest thing about Davon just wanting to have some fun in the house, seemingly, which is so relatable to me. I would be Davon in this situation, and just turning this into a we don't trust Davon anymore party, which is not a party I want to attend, by the way. And
no, Danny is very good at turning these little situations into something bigger and taking the target off of herself, which she needs to do because she has been caught in a few lies and there is a little mistrust going on with Danny.
Davon and Bailey want to keep Janelle, ultimately. Like, if I think they had it their way, they would find a way to make this work because they know Janelle would probably ride with them for a while. They also know that Janelle's always going to be a target. Always. She will always be the person some people in that big alliance gun after. I think they're kind of hoping that there's a battle back and Janelle gets back into the game so that she can sort of shield them for a little bit longer.
And I think that sort of secretly some of the big alliance is hoping that as well. People like Tyler and people like Cody, because now they are going to be the biggest targets in the house. Once Janelle is gone, it's open season on the two of them, and that's not great for them. And both of them have kind of, you know, they've talked about it a little bit that is that's the truth moving forward. So they're not going to keep Janelle. But if Janelle comes back, that's not really bad for their game because she's not coming back in for Tyler and Cody. She'd be coming back in for Nicole.
The veto ceremony is probably going to be later this afternoon, and unless someone else comes near the backyard and shouts, "Hey Cody, we will give you $500,000 to use the power of veto," I think Cody is not using it. We're going to be in a situation where Janelle and Case are up there battling. They may campaign for themselves, not each other. It's probably going to be predictable in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like, Cody's not going to use it. Even if he did and he was like, oh, I feel like keeping Janelle in the house, better for me, bigger target. He just can't sell that to his alliance in any way that they are going to be okay with that. No,
you can't. Any last second change to the plan is going to lead to, you are the devil because you're thinking about changing the plan.
Absolutely.
All right, I know everyone is dying for a Christmas punishment update. So here you go. She now has like 9 of these star babies, which it's funny now. Like, it was stupid at first. It's legit just kind of ridiculous at this point.
It's pretty funny as the babies were coming out. It is really funny now.
Yeah, when you started to see like all the additional products coming in, you can sort of just sense the, oh no, something more is happening. The wheels are turning here.
Yeah, and she's taking it pretty well. I mean, she is a lot more enjoyable this season. I wasn't the biggest Christmas fan when she played before, but she is playing a better game. She's making some really interesting moves, like what happened with the safety suite in Ian. She's taking this punishment pretty well, and she's really smartly using this punishment to tell these little baby stars stories. And she's telling them stories about things that have happened in the house. So she's using them as a way to prepare herself if she gets to that point where it's like, you know, there's some sort of challenge that you have to remember things or days, you know, that have happened in the house. She's working with her punishment to further her game. It's really smart.
It's especially smart when they're like waking you up because they love to put this on the show where they wake you up at like 4 in the morning, and you can go into the backyard. Ain't nobody going out there with you at 4 in the morning, so you've just got that whole place to talk to yourself, to figure that sort of stuff out. I do love that. I think she had to like go around to people this morning, like overnight, and just be like, "Look how great my babies are," and it was a part of the punishment. Like that. There's nothing better than just irritating everyone else in the house at the same time.
Look how great my babies are. It's so funny.
Production.
It's a good punishment.
All right, well, we'll conclude this edition of Live Feed Spoilers. But what do you think Bailey and Davon should do in the game right now? And if you were a yeller, I'm not endorsing this, but if you were a yeller, what would you yell? Let us know, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we will see you here next time.